It's the 28th. We have been doing fun things with our family, just like 1 or 2 people at a time for the last 4 days, and I'm ready to weave. Last night I was like, oh my gosh, I'm on my way home to my looms, and tomorrow I can weave all day if I want. That's a long story. It's almost noon. Nothing has happened yet, but it's about to go down. I have a 7.5 DPI Heddle already set up. I have 2 colors picked out. They are Malabrigo. I'll put the colorways in the description box, and we're about to weave a hero cowl. So let's do it. I've been looking at this cowl. I know probably all of you have seen it already. I've been looking at it for a while, and I just really haven't had time. I've been extremely busy. You know how the holidays are. I'm gonna wind these balls of Malabrigo, and then I am going to make a gorgeous hero cowl. I hope, fingers crossed. I'll link to the instructions below for the pattern. It's a free one and it looks pretty well written. So I guess after I'm done, I'll actually give you a little update on how I think the pattern was written. Right, so I'm all tied up and I'm all set on my warping bar, so I'm just gonna roll it and I basically can start weaving. This is like the easiest warp I've ever done. So I've had a couple of questions about this. After you take your warping bar off, you just quickly undo the wing nuts a little bit and pull it off. You cut the loops and then slay your loom. Recently I had a question about at what point do you actually slay the holes in the loom? So at the beginning of this warp, you have to advance it a certain number of inches. I don't remember what it is. So I measure this and I'm like, okay, good, perfect. But I had no way of marking it on the yarn. So I marked it on the paper I was using as a warp separator. And that way I just advanced it until the mark and I knew that I had the correct number of inches of extra warp wound on. Okay, so I have 20 inches left of warp on the back now, and I'm going to go ahead and unroll the scarf. And this is how it works. So I just need to come in here and cut off the front of the scarf. It feels weird. I thought this was the only really tricky part. So you need to capture your fabric back again under your front apron beam. And I didn't do it exactly how they described in the instructions. I just basically caught the fabric between the beam and the apron rod, and then I wound it until it was wound onto itself enough to catch. And I had to do it like 3 times to get it situated in the exact right space, but after that, this is really an easy project. So I finally got it wound on right, and all you need to do is take the front end that you cut off and basically make sure it's still flat, and then turn it up against your weaving, just like this. And then what you're going to do is use your warp strands into your warp again and weave just like normal. So I grab a shuttle, I like to do it that way, and you'll see I like to just catch each end with the shuttle and pass it through that way. It's really not hard. I did have a couple floats, so I wish I had been more careful. So here we go, I'm weaving those ends together, and what you can't see is that right now that cowl is wrapped around the front beam. So I took it off and realized that the beam was going directly through the middle of it, and didn't realize that my camera had stopped recording. It only records like certain length of clips before it turns off. So I thought I was showing you guys what I did. I mean, everybody makes mistakes, but I thought I'd tell you, because if you want to try to do this, you want to be careful not to do that. I was still on the loom, so it was fine. I just undid it and then redid it, and it didn't take tons of time to correct. I actually thought about taking off the beam, and then I'm like, no, just undo it. So anyways, it turned out awesome in the end, but everybody makes mistakes. So this is the finished cowl. It was like a 1.5 day project. I want to weave about 100 more of them. I did twist the fringe the next day, but I could have gotten it all done in one day. I would say a beginner could totally do this. I wouldn't do it for my first project, but a beginner could do this, and I love it. So happy New Year, you guys. I will have a New Year's video up in the next couple of days. I don't know exactly what my schedule is. The holidays have thrown me all off. We've been crazy busy. I haven't gotten nearly the stuff I want done, but whatever, who cares? So I will see you guys in 2021 with a New Year's video. Thanks, I love you, bye.